All right, there we go. I know one thing. It's been hot enough. I've stayed in the house. But I'm going to have to get out later on this afternoon or early tomorrow. The problem with getting in early tomorrow morning is that it's wet. Yeah. And I really don't want to go out there and fool that tire this afternoon. So, I don't know what I'm going to do, but you're going to have to do something because I'm getting hay out there. But, where do you take refuge? That's what we're going to be talking about today. When the weather gets too hot or life gets too hot, where do you take your refuge at? Where do you go seeking? A lot of people, they have what the woe is me syndrome or the I can't syndrome, or nobody likes me syndrome. Where do we as Christians seek our help from? And if you will, open your Bibles to Psalms chapter 7. And we're going to be in Psalms chapter 7. And the verse, David right here, he tells us real quick where we should have our refuge. David says, Lord my God, I seek refuge in you. Save me from all my pursuers and rescue me. Or they would tear me like a lion, ripping me apart with no one to rescue me. Lord my God, if I have done this, if there is injustice on my hands, if I have done harm to one at peace with me, or have plundered my adversary without cause, may an enemy pursue and overtake me. May he trample me to the ground and leave my honor in the dust. Selah. Rise up, Lord, in your anger. Lift yourself up against the fury of my adversaries. Awake for me. You have ordained a judgment. Let the assembly of peoples gather around you. Take your seat on high over it. The Lord judges the people. Vindicate me, Lord, according to my righteousness and my integrity. Let the evil of the wicked come to an end, but establish the righteous. The one who examines the thoughts and emotions is a righteous God. My shield is with God, who saves the upright in heart. God is a righteous judge and a God who shows his wrath every day. If anyone does not repent, he will sharpen his sword. He has strung his bow and made it ready. He has prepared his deadly weapons. He tips his arrows with fire. See, the wicked one is pregnant with evil, conceives trouble, and gives birth to deceit. He dug a pit and hollowed it out, but fell into the hole he had made. His trouble comes back on his own head. His own violence comes down on top of his head. I will thank the Lord for his righteousness. I will sing about the name of the Lord Most High. You see, David answered a question for us. In whom should we seek refuge? The question we need to ask ourselves is, do I take refuge in God or myself? And a lot of people will answer with myself. They will try to solve their problem by doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. You ever know anybody like that? Doing the same thing over and over, and they can't understand why it never works. I see that in classes with students. They never study and don't understand why they can't pass the test. It makes no sense to them. You can't explain to them that they got to study to pass. Oh, I got this. I'll handle it on the next test. And that's what you hear a lot of people say. I got this. You ever heard anybody say that? I got this. And they never saw the problem. People continue to fail and fail and fail because they're not putting their trust in who they need to put their trust. They would rather try to seek the answers to their problems through their own knowledge or through others. They would rather listen to some guy sitting over here than God. You know, there's people out there that think they know it all. I know nobody in this room has ever met anybody that thinks they know everything there is to know about everything there is to know about. I know nobody here sing that. Okay? But there are people out there like that, I promise you. There are people out there like that. There are people out there that think they can do everything, anything. Oh, I can put that car together. I can strip that motor down. Well, you know something? 35, 40 years ago, that was right. You could. Today, when you pop that hood up, it goes, where's the engine at? And then some of those engines sit in the wrong direction. And you don't have enough room. You got to, used to you could walk up to a car, take the hood off, unbolt the engine, bring the little crane over there, pick the motor up and set it off. Nowadays, you got to take the whole front cap off to get to an engine. And sometimes you have to take the whole front cap off just to work, to get to a part. You want to know why it costs so much sometimes to get people to work on the car? It's because they literally have to take the car apart to fix something about that big around. And so we're going to take care of that ourselves. Yeah. I had a kid ask me one time, why do I always get in trouble? And I looked at him and I said, and what's the common denominator in your situation? Denominator. That told me I haven't been listening in the math class, right? I said, what is the central figure in every problem that you ever had? He still didn't get it. I said, you. You cause your problems. You think at work. 99% of the problems you have at work oftentimes is caused by you. Not doing something right, not following a particular procedure, doing it your way, trying to get work done, or just trying to kill time till you get out of there. And then wonder why the boss gets mad at you because you're trying to kill time. Have you ever worked with somebody that looks like they're working their tail off and they're doing absolutely nothing? Huh? They think nobody notice it. You ever work with somebody that you never can find them? Man, I know of workers that spend the entire work time in the bathroom. And they wonder why they got wrote up. Most of the time, our problems are our own doing. But then I know of others that they want to blame somebody else. Well, no one ever helps me. Did you ask? And I'm going to tell off on Mom here. She complains about that. And I ask her, have you called to set up an appointment that they can come in? Because, everybody's working. They just can't come do when you want it done. Everybody's working. Have you called up and said, look, when can you come over and do such and such? A lot of times no one helps because they don't know you need help. I show up over at Mom's and Dad's outside where he could really do a whole lot, and he'd be out there struggling with something. Why didn't you call me? I don't know if you're doing something if you don't tell me. Same thing with God. He wants us to tell him when we want him to deal with it. When we need help. Well, no one likes me. Well, that may be true. Because of you. And the way you treat people. And the way you do things. You ever know anybody like that? So the question is, do you seek help from the family? Well, I got a problem, and I go to my family. They're kin to you, right? They probably have the same problems. And so, you know what they're going to give you is advice on how they try to fix the problem. It didn't work. Problem won't work for you. People struggle, folks. Everybody out there struggles. I don't care how successful they look. There is something that they struggle with. There's something that they're struggling in. There is something they are just as confused as you are about. May not be the same thing, but they still have problems. They don't have all the right answers. Then we go to friends. Well, have you ever thought about this? We tend to be friends with people that are similar to us. Okay? So, when we go to them with a major problem that we have, well, they may be struggling with a problem of their own. They don't have time to listen to you. Do they truly help? Do they truly stand beside you? Or like old Job found out, he thought he had two pretty good friends. And when they showed up to mourn with him, they just took pleasure in that it was happening to Job. Job had all this success, and then everything was taken away from him. Well, what did you do, Job? They weren't asking him that to help him find out what he did. They were asking him that because they wanted to know. They wanted the scoop. They wanted the lowdown. Job, you had to do something. What was it? Job said, I didn't do nothing. Not a single thing. And then there's people out there that depends on the government to help them. I don't know about you, but I don't think I want government help. Because that comes with ropes, chains. They tried. The idea behind welfare, we're going to make sure everybody gets something to eat, have some place to sleep. That's fine and wonderful. Welfare should be a safety net. It shouldn't be a lifestyle. But the government, the Democrats, saw an opportunity to ensnare a large voting block of the American voting population, and if we can keep them dependent on us, every election, if you elect him president, he's going to take your welfare away from you. And for most of the people on welfare, they're multi-generational. Their family's been on Medicaid, on welfare for 5 or 6 generations. To them, that's their job. And if they go out and try to do better, you know what the government does? They take it away. If they go out and get a wonderful job at McDonald's to make a little bit extra money, they lose their welfare. Now, I don't know about you, but you can't make enough money working at McDonald's to pay for the gas, to come to work, to pay for rent, daycare, and all that good stuff. You don't have an opportunity to improve yourself. It should be a safety net that people fall into, but yet we work to get them out. So what I'm trying to get you to see is that turning to the government to help solve your problem creates more problems. So I got there and I got to thinking, well, if my family can't help me, if my friends can't help me, and if the government can't help me, and I can't help myself, who can? Then I read this. Now, David, he had people after him. He had people chasing him. He had people that wanted to kill him. And David said, Lord, my God, I seek refuge in you. Save me from my pursuers, or they will tear me like a lion. So what this tells me is I need to seek God's aid. I need to call on God. I need to plead with him. Here's what David, he's pleading right here. Lord, help me. I got enemies that are pursuing me, that are wanting to kill me, wanting to destroy me, Lord. If I am worthy, if I have done anything wrong, let them catch me and take their vengeance. If I haven't, Lord, take care of them. Take care of them. You saw what David was doing here? Have you noticed what he was doing? He was seeking God's guidance. He was saying, Lord, I done tried to deal with this. I can't handle it. I can't fix it. So I'm giving it to you. And I'm going to trust you to handle it. Basically what he said was, I'm going to let you take control. That's the hardest thing for any of us in this room to do, is let God take control. Because we can't see what God is doing. We'll turn it over to him and then we'll take it back. You mess it up even more. Then the next thing you have to do is you have to obey God when you call on his assistance. Even if, now listen closely, even if you don't want to or you don't understand. Look at old Job. He did not understand in any way, form, or fashion why what happened to him happened. He even questioned God. But you know what? He never once disobeyed God or failed to follow him. He continued to trust him. Can you imagine that? Even at the hardest moment in his life, his wealth gone, his power gone, his children gone. And he still said, I trust God. I don't know why it happened. But God does. And He has a purpose behind it. And I may never know why. But I'm going to trust Him. And so what David is doing here and what Job did was they surrendered all. They held nothing back. They gave it all to God and said, here, you handle it. Wouldn't you like at times to tell someone, here, it's yours. You handle it. And trust them to do so? And know beyond a shadow of a doubt that they are? You know, I got here and I have to think, God has kept His promises over and over and over again. And one of the main promises He promised us was that He was going to feed us. He was going to clothe us. And He was going to put a roof over our head. He yanked us out of the grasp of sin. He broke those chains. He threw those chains away. He has set us free from worldly cares. We no longer need to be concerned about what happens in this world, because we're no longer citizens of this world. We're just tourists coming through. It's like when we go to Branson, Missouri on vacation. There's a house there we stay at. You know, we buy groceries there. But we're just a tourist. We're there for a short period of time and then we're heading back. Same thing here. We are tourists in this world. We're only here for a short period of time. And then we're heading home. Every step, every mile that we take in our life is a journey to home. And where's that home at? It's not 5 miles down the road, I'll tell you that right now. That's just the place I'm occupying until I go home. You see, my home, your home, is in heaven. God has prepared a home for us in heaven. We have a refuge. We have a place that we can go to and be taken care of. The problem is, we choose not to. So, this week, seek your refuge. Dwell in your refuge. Be comfortable. Be secure. No matter what comes your way, know this. I'm telling you right now, know this. God already knew about it. He already planned for it. He got it under control. Whatever happens is part of His plan. We may not understand it, but it's part of His plan. What are we singing, Anna?
288.